Hello. I should probably. No. I think I'm okay to stay over here, actually. It's probably just the menu there, right? Oh no!
This is the story of a man named Stanley.
Okay.
Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor.
Is that better?
Telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order.
Can you hear me better now?
427 did every day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made
I did it too much.
for this job. And Stanley was happy.
Okay, there we go.
And then one day, something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened, this complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
Okay, I have many times started watching other people play this and then inevitably had them say, you should experience it yourself first, and then I just go, oh, okay, and stop watching. I don't know anything about this, really.
All of his co-workers were gone.
Oh.
What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
I'm gonna steal all the paper from the copy machine. That's expensive.
No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his
Turn off your
co-workers.
computer if you're leaving. Don't waste power. Okay. Oh, Stanley got moves. He's fast. I did it! I beat the game! We don't have to play anymore! I found the best part of the game!
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
No.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
Somebody left their computer on. Let me in. It's a weird room. Hey, welcome to Twitch. It's...
Ah, yes, truly a room worth admiring. It had really been worth the detour after all, just to spend a few moments here in this immaculate, beautifully constructed room. Stanley simply stood here, drinking it all in.
Give me a beverage. I want a beverage.
Yes, really, really worth it being here in the room. A room so utterly captivating that even though all your co-workers have mysteriously vanished, here you sit looking at these chairs and some paintings.
I'm trying to get a
Really
sody
worth
pop.
it.
It won't let me get a beverage.
At this point,
I'm
Stanley's
dying.
obsession with this room bordered on creepy and reflected poorly on his overall personality.
I need a little
It's possible
sippy.
that this is why everyone left.
I need a little sippy.
But at last, he'd had enough of the amazing room and took the first open door on his left to get back to business.
No, it's time for me to go find a sippy. I need a drink.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
I need to find a drink. I'm on my adventure to find a drink. They're gonna make me pay money if I'm dead? What are they just gonna take it out of my will? I don't know how they're gonna manage that.
Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten about.
No, I know it's...
Please, stop trying to make every decision by yourself. Now, I'm not asking for me, I'm asking for her.
I just need a drink. I'm thirsty.
This is it, Stanley. Your chance to redeem yourself. To put your work aside. To let her back into your life.
I just want a
She's
drink.
been waiting.
I just want a drink. I feel like I'm gonna... This is very black. Oh,
That's her, Stanley. You need to be the one to do this.
this isn't
To
ominous
reach
at all.
out to her. If you can truly place your faith in another, then pick up the phone.
This isn't ominous at all. Oh.
Oh, Stanley, is that you? Hold on, sweetie. Sorry to keep you waiting. I'm just pulling the bread out of the oven. All right. Okay, there
I
we
have
go.
a wife?
All right, now, I want you to come in and tell me all about
Your damn
Gotcha. Oh, come on. Did you actually think you had a loving wife?
I just
Who'd
want
wanna
a
commit their life
drink,
to
man.
you? I'm trying to make a point here, Stanley. I'm trying
just
to get you
want
to
a
see
drink.
something. Come inside. Let me show you what's really going on here.
I just want a drink, man. I wanted a sody pop.
Sorry, but you're in my story now.
If I went fast enough, do you think I could make it? Do you think if I went fast enough, I could have made it before the wall came up? Give me a...
This is a very sad story about the death of a man named Stanley.
No, I want a drink. This is a story about a man who wants a soda pop. What is with this? I want a soda.
Stanley is quite a boring fellow. He has a job that demands nothing of him, and every button that he pushes is a reminder of the inconsequential nature of his existence. Look at him there, pushing buttons, doing exactly what he's told to do. Now he's pushing a button. Now he's eating lunch. Now he's going home.
Well, now I am not going to do
He's
it.
coming back to work. One might even feel sorry for him, except that he's chosen this life.
No, I am not going to do it. I want a soda. Oh, I can't even get over to the door.
But in his mind, he can go on fantastic adventures. From behind his desk, Stanley dreamed of wild expeditions into the unknown, fantastic discoveries of new lands. It was wonderful, and each day that he returned to work was a reminder that none of it would ever happen to him. And so he began to fantasize about his own job. First, he imagined that one day while at work, he stepped up from his desk to realize that all of his co-workers, his boss, everyone in the building had suddenly vanished off the face of the earth. The thought excited him terribly.
The face tracking is better than I realized. I do actually have a drink here, and it is picking up on me drinking things. A night out with the boys.
So he went further. He imagined that he came to 2 open doors and that he could go through either. At last, choice. It barely even mattered what lay behind each door. The mere thought that his decisions would mean something was almost too wonderful to behold.
Dinner.
As he wandered through this fantasy world, he began to fill it with many possible paths
fridge!
and destinations. Down one path lay an enormous round room with monitors and mind
fridge!
controls. And down another was a yellow line that weaved in many directions. And down another was a game with a baby. And he called it the Stanley Parable. It was such a wonderful fantasy, and so in his head he relived it again, and then again, and again, over and over, wishing beyond hope that it would never end, that he might always feel this free. Surely there's an answer down some new path, mustn't there be? Perhaps if he played just one more time. But there is no answer. How could there possibly be? In reality, all he's doing is pushing the same buttons he always has. Nothing has changed. The longer he spends here, the more invested he gets, the more he forgets which life is the real one.
He took my fucking wife. How am I supposed to go to sleep? I can't get to the bed. You took my wife.
And I'm trying to tell him this, that in this world he can never be anything but an observer, that as long as he remains here, he's slowly killing himself. But he won't listen to me. He won't stop. Here, watch this. Stanley, the next time the screen asks you to push a button, do not do it.
Okay. No.
You see? Can he just not hear me? How can I tell him in a way that he'll understand that every second he remains here, he's electing to kill himself? How can I get him to see what I see? How can I make him look at himself?
Oh, I can't even interact with the door. It doesn't even make a noise.
I suppose I can't. Not in the way I want him to. But I don't make the rules. I simply play to my intended purpose, the same as Stanley. We're not so different, I suppose. I'll try once more to convey all this to him. I'm compelled to. I must. Perhaps, well, maybe this time he'll see. Maybe this time. And I tried again, and Stanley pushed a button. And I tried again, and Stanley pushed a button. And I tried.
I'm scratching at the walls like a rat. I'm chewing on the drywall. Let me out of here. I have to move one of my bottles so that I can see my clock. There.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
The sun.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Oh, I'm not. I was looking at my phone. I have to look down, and the eye tracking messes up when I look down. I'm sleepy.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
Chris is in the broom closet. What's he doing in there? Oh my god, I've made a PowerPoint with that theme before. I wish I could erase the whiteboard. That would be fun. Chris! Oh, I guess he got out.
Stanley stepped into the broom closet, but there was nothing here, so he turned around and got back on track. There was nothing here. No choice to make, no path to follow, just an empty broom closet. No reason to still be here.
I'm Chris now.
It was baffling that Stanley was still just sitting in the broom closet. He wasn't even doing anything. At least if there was something to interact with, he'd be justified in some way. As it is, he's literally just standing there doing sweet FA.
I'm Chris.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Nope, hang on a second. Mods, kill this clown. Okay. Oh god, I'm in hell. Oh, I leaned forward too far and I lost the tracking. A car!
But Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss, admitting he had left his post during work
I tried to
hours.
kill the
He
clown
might be
myself.
fired for that.
I'm
And in
Mods.
such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished? His boss would think he was crazy. And then something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy. All of my co-workers blinking mysteriously out of existence in a single moment for no reason at all? None of it made any logical sense. And as Stanley pondered this, he began to make other strange observations. For example, why couldn't he see his feet when he looked down? Why did doors close automatically behind him wherever he went? And for that matter, these rooms were starting to look pretty familiar. Were they simply repeating? No, Stanley said to himself, this is all too strange. This can't be real. And at last, he came to the conclusion that had been on the tip of his tongue.
I'm trying.
He just hadn't found the words for it. I'm dreaming, he yelled. This is all a dream. Oh, what a relief Stanley felt to have finally found an answer, an explanation. His co-workers weren't actually gone. He wasn't going to lose his job. He wasn't crazy after all. And he thought to himself, I suppose I'll wake up soon. I'll have to go back to my boring real-life job pushing buttons. I may as well enjoy this while I'm still lucid. So, he imagined himself flying and began to gently float above the ground. Then he imagined himself soaring through space on a magical starfield, and it too appeared. It was so much fun, and Stanley marveled that he had still not woken up. How was he remaining so lucid? And then perhaps the strangest question of them all entered Stanley's head. One he was amazed he hadn't asked himself sooner. Why is there a voice in my head dictating everything that I'm doing and thinking? Now the voice was describing itself being considered by Stanley, who found it particularly strange. I'm dreaming about a voice describing me, thinking about how it's describing my thoughts, he thought. And while
This
he
sounds
thought it
like
all
if I
very
stay up
odd
too late
and
on a
wondered if
Tuesday.
this voice spoke to all people in their dreams, the truth was that, of course, this was not a dream. How could it be? Was Stanley simply deceiving himself, believing that if he's asleep, he doesn't have to take responsibility
Just give
for
me a
it?
soda! Give me a
Stanley
soda!
is as awake right now as he's ever been in his life.
Give me a
Now,
soda!
hearing
I'm
the
so
voice
thirsty!
speak these words was quite a shock to Stanley. After all, he knew for certain, beyond a doubt, that this was in fact a dream. Did the voice not see him float and make the magical stars just a moment ago? How else would the voice explain all that? This voice was a part of himself too. Surely, if he could just... He would prove it. He would prove that he was in control, that this was a dream. So he closed his eyes gently, and he invited himself to wake up. He felt the cool weight of the blanket on his skin.
Soda ending.
The press
Yeah.
of the mattress on his back. The fresh air of a world outside this one. Let me wake up.
Everybody go
he
to
thought
sleep,
to
chat.
himself. I'm through with this dream. I wish it to be
It's
over.
sleepy time.
Let me go back to my job. Let me continue pushing the buttons. Please. It's all I want. I want my apartment, and my wife, and my job. All I want is my life exactly the way it's always been. My life is normal. I am normal. Everything will be fine. I am okay. Stanley began screaming. Please, someone, wake me up. My name is Stanley. I have a boss. I have an office. I am real. Please, just someone tell me I am real. I must be real. I must be. Can anyone hear my voice? Who am I? Who am I? And everything went black.
Oh, this is a Thursday night. Staying up too late then.
This is the story of a woman named Mariella. Mariella woke up on a day like any other. She arose, got dressed, gathered her belongings, and walked to her place of work. But on this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk. And although she would soon turn to go call for an ambulance, for just a few brief moments, she considered the
No,
strange
I
man.
think
He was
heart
obviously
attack.
crazy. This much she knew.
He
Everyone
just
knows what crazy people
Stanley
look
just
like.
collapsed.
And in
That's
that
not.
moment, she thought to herself how lucky she was to be normal. I am sane. I am in control of my mind. I know what is real and what isn't. It was comforting to think this, and in a certain way, seeing this man made her feel better. But then she remembered the meeting she had scheduled for that day, the very important people whose impressions of her would affect her career, and by extension, the rest of her life. She had no time for this, so it was only a moment that she stood there, staring down at the body. And then she turned and ran.
Alright then. She was having a moment. I don't blame her. It's okay. It's okay, Mariella. I know what it's like. Meetings are hell.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply
Turn
missed
off
a
your
memo.
computers. Turn off your computers.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors,
No.
he entered the door, and this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. Wow. Yes.
Your
This
sodas
room.
are a lie.
What a beautiful room. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left. And so he detoured through the maintenance section, walked straight ahead to the opposite door, and got back on track.
No. No, heart emoji.
But Stanley didn't want to go back to the office. He wanted to wander about and get even further off track.
Oh, yeah.
So now in order to get back, he needed to go, from here it's, left.
But what if I went right instead? Okay, I guess I can't.
Oh, no, it's to the right, my mistake. No, not the right. Why would I have ever said it was to the right? What was I thinking? It's clearly...
Make
Oh,
up
dear,
your
just hold on
mind.
for a minute, please. Now, let's see. We went down, right, left, down, left, right. Yep, okay, yes. I've got it now. This story is absolutely, definitely this way.
Are you sure? I want to get in the car. Oh.
No. This isn't right at all. You're not supposed to be here yet. This is all a spoiler. Quick, Stanley, close your eyes. Okay. We just have to get back to, oh, who am I kidding? It's all rubbish now. The whole story completely unusable. How about, rather than waste my time trying to salvage this nonsense, we'll just restart the game from the beginning.
This is a
And
really
this
cool
time,
model.
suppose we
Or a
don't
really
wander
cool
so
set.
far off track, Okay, from the top.
234 is broken. That's interesting. I'm gonna see if I can find an office 234.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Oh, I can't turn that one off. Oh, there we go. Okay, 234, 234, 234.
When Stanley... Wait, what? No, I restarted. I swear, I definitely restarted the game over, completely fresh. Everything should be... Oh, did something change? Stanley, did you change anything when we were back in that room with all the monitors?
No.
Did you move the story somewhere or... Hold on. Why am I asking you? I'm the one who wrote the story. It was right here just a minute ago. I know for sure that it's here somewhere. Okay, then. It's an adventure. Come, Stanley. Let's find the story.
Who's drinking my soda? Can't go there. I want to find office 234. Because that's the screen that was busted in the monitor room.
I'll say it. This is the worst adventure I've ever been on. I can promise you there definitely was a story here before. Do we need to restart the game again? Well, I find it unlikely that we'll ever progress by starting over and over again, but it's got to be better than this. Okay, let's give it a shot. Why not?
Oop.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
No, I'm going to office 234. Heh.
Okay, yep, it's worse. I might be remembering this wrong. It's possible the story is back where we just came from. Why don't we go back the other direction and see if we missed anything?
Four B3. I thought I just saw someone walk past that window, but... Four B6. 4B5.
Aha! I knew we'd missed something. The story. Here it comes. No, wait, never mind. Not the story. Okay, let's head back the other way and retrace our steps.
I'm in Silent Hill.
Well, I'll be honest, I don't recognize this place at all. Is this the story? I don't think so. I can't quite recall, but I believe my story took place in an office building. Is that correct? Do you remember, Stanley? Well, do you know what? Since I've completely forgotten what we were supposed to be doing, how about this? You win! Congratulations! I know you put in a lot of hard work, and it really paid off, so good job. Oh, no, I don't feel right about this at all. We both know you didn't put in any actual work for that win. Some people win fair and square, and this was not one of those situations. Okay, I'm getting weirded out by whatever this place is. I don't care what might happen this time. I have to restart.
Adventure line.
All right, I've got a solution. This time, to make sure we don't get lost, I've employed the help of the Stanley Parable Adventure Line. Just follow the line. How simple is that? You see? The line knows where the story is. It's over in this direction. Onward, Stanley, to destiny. Though, here's a thought. Wouldn't wherever we end up be our destination, even if there's no story there? Or to put it another way, is the story of no destination still a story? Simply by the act of moving forward, are we implying a journey such that a destination is inevitably conjured into being via the very manifestation of the nature of life itself?
I think this guy has ADHD.
Whoa. Hang on. That got a bit weird back there. Well, I'd like to apologize. Not sure where I was going with all that. You know what? I think what we need right now is a bit of music to lighten the mood. Cut the music, go back and look at that fern. Stanley, this fern will be very important later in the story. Make sure you study it closely and remember it carefully. You won't want to miss anything.
We have to observe the fern from all angles. Okay.
Wait, what? We're back at the office? No. Line, you do know we're looking for the Stanley Parable, right? The story? Is any of this ringing a bell?
Whoa.
Oh, no, not again. Line, how could you have done this to us? And after we trusted you, after everything we've been through,
234
No, I can't take this anymore. To hell with it.
104.
Restart.
Interesting.
You know what, Stanley? I say forget the adventure line. What's it ever done for us? We're intelligent people, right? Why can't we make up our own story? Something exciting, daring, mysterious. Ooh, this all sounds perfectly doable. Why don't we simply start wandering in, well, I don't know. How about this direction?
I wanted to find room 234. That's what I'm looking for.
Yes, this is exciting. Just me and Stanley forging a new path, a new story. Well, it could be anything. What do you want our story to be? Go wild. Use your imagination. Whatever it might be, Stanley, I'm ready for it.
I want to find room 234. That's what I'm looking for. Okay. can't tell if this floor is supposed to be carpet or tile. It could be both.
Oh, no, not you again. Stanley, I'd also like to veto the line from having any role in our awesome new story. No lines or monitor rooms. Just don't acknowledge it, and we should be fine. Ah, a choice. We get to make a decision. From here, the story is in our control. How important we mustn't squander the opportunity. In fact, I believe I need a minute to think here. Just walk in circles for a minute.
No,
Okay, so I know that each door has to lead somewhere.
I'm going the other
which
way.
means that somewhere, the place where we're trying to go, there must be a reverse door that leads here. And that in turn means that our destination corresponds with the counter-inverted reverse door's origin. So starting from the right, let us ask, will taking the right door lead us to where we're going? And since the answer is clearly yes, then by all accounts, the door on the right is the correct one. Another victory for logic. Come, Stanley, our destiny awaits.
Uh-oh. I don't like this one.
Oh, hold up, what's this? The confusion ending. You're telling me that's what this is? It's all one giant ending? And we're supposed to restart the game, what, eight times? That's really how all this goes? It's all determined? So now, according to the schedule, I restart again. Then what? Am I just supposed to forget? Well, what if I don't want to forget? My mind goes blank simply because it's written here on this thing, wall. Well, who consulted me? Why don't I get to decide? Why don't I get a say in all of this? Is it really? No, it can't be. I don't want it to be. I don't want the game to keep restarting. I don't want to forget what's going on. I don't want to be trapped like this. I won't restart the game. I won't do it. I won't do it. I won't do it. And the timer stopped? Does that mean, did we do it? Did we break the cycle? The, whatever it is that made this schedule? How would we even know? Will someone come for us? Will something happen? So, okay. I guess now we just wait. You know, I suppose in some way that this is a kind of story. Wouldn't you agree? I'm not quite
gonna
sure
take
if
a
we're in the
nap.
destination or the journey. Though they're always saying that life is about the journey and not the destination. So I hope that's where we are right now. We'll find out, won't we? Eventually. Well, in the meantime, if you...
Ow! That was loud.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Bad sound. Bad sound. Oh, yeah. I think there's a way to turn it off in your chat settings. I'm not for sure, though.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. The lounge was sublime, a work of art. What but eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
I'm gonna
Stanley
unplug the
was so
phone.
bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago. Look, Stanley, I
Actually,
think
I'm
perhaps
gonna
we've
jump
gotten
onto
off
that
on the wrong
walkway.
foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I
I'm
realize
committing
that investing
OSHA
your
violations.
trust in
No one
someone
tells
else can be
cilantro.
difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten about. What? Really? I was in the middle of something. Do you have zero consideration for others? Are you that convinced that I want something bad to happen to you? Why, I don't know how to convince you of this, but I really do want to help you, to show you something beautiful. Look, let me prove it. Let me prove that I'm on your side. Give me a chance. Now listen carefully, this is important. Stanley walked through the red door.
No. I'm causing problems on purpose.
Perhaps you misunderstood. Stanley walked through the red door.
Causing problems on purpose.
I still don't think we're communicating properly. Stanley walked... All right, fine, go ahead, Stanley. You want to know so badly what's out there? You want to find out what lies at the end of this road you've chosen? Well, don't let me stop you. You see? There's nothing here. I haven't even finished building this section of the map, because you were never supposed to be here in the first place. Broken rooms, exposed developer textures. Is this what you had wanted? Was it worth ruining the entire story I had written out specifically for you? Do you not think I put a lot of time into that? Because I did. And in the end, it was all for nothing, because this is what you wanted to see.
I
Help
actually
me here, Stanley. Help
unironically think this
elucidate
room
these
is very
strange and
nice.
unknowable desires of yours. What would have made this game better? What did you want to see? Vehicles? Skill trees? Work with me. You've given me absolutely nothing so far.
I want a
Tell
soda.
you what, let me take a stab in the dark at a new design, and you can give me some feedback. There we go. A third option. This already feels leaps ahead of where we were before.
I
Go
want a
ahead,
soda.
Stanley. Take it for a spin.
I want a soda, but the machine in the lounge doesn't work.
Okay, I'm going to stop you there. Now, tell me about your experience with this new version. Would you say that the game benefited from allowing you more choices? Feel free to be honest. I'm looking for some real critical feedback here. A 1? I mean, I can
want a
understand if you had
soda.
reservations. You saw ways the game could be improved to more fully express itself mechanically and artistically, but a 1? That's not even helpful. What am I supposed to do with that? But I guess it isn't my place to judge. Here, based on the data from your previous playthrough, I've compiled a new version. And to be perfectly candid, I think I've knocked it out of the park with this one. Let's take a look.
Hogarth. I think he wants to kiss me so bad it makes him look stupid.
Now, would you say that competitive leaderboard helped you feel motivated to keep walking through doors?
No!
Again, honest answers,
Just give me a
please.
soda.
Hey, I nearly forgot. I've got a prototype of a new game I've been working on, and
Oh
now
my
would
God,
be a
it's
lovely
the
opportunity
baby
to
game.
give it some playtesting.
Is
You wouldn't
it the
mind taking a
baby
look at it,
game?
would you?
I do know about the
Perfect.
baby
Let me
game.
boot it up. In this game,
It's the
baby
baby
crawls
game.
left towards danger. You click the button to move him back to the right. And if he reaches the fire,
This sounds
you
bad.
fail. It's a very
It's bad
meaningful
sounds.
game, all about the desperation and tedium of endlessly confronting the demands of family life. I think the art world will really take notice. But of course, the message of the game only becomes clear once you've been playing it for about 4 hours. So why don't you give it 4 hours of play to make sure it's effective? Be sure to keep notes on your experience.
Oh god, it sounds really bad when you're the one playing it.
You heartless bastard. Did you do it because you hate babies or purely to spite me?
No, it sounds
because
bad.
If it's the latter, well, I don't know what to do. I'm completely out of ideas. I can't think of a single thing that might improve the experience for me. I'm not even going to
A
try.
soda!
I'm out.
I've been
I'm
asking
out.
for a
I'm
soda
done.
this whole
It's
time.
over. Thank you for playing. Your input was extremely valuable. Oh, hey, since my game was so awful, why don't we play someone else's game? Just to ease the pain.
Uh-oh.
Let's see. What do we have here? Yes, this seems like it'll work. Let's give it a shot.
I just wanted a soda, man.
Aha! Fascinating. What do you think this game is about, Stanley? What's our backstory? What is our motivation? Well, it seems obvious to me that you are meant to play as a creepy man spying on innocent civilians below you from up high in your creep tower, perhaps for some sort of twisted erotic purpose. Yes, that must be it. What a fascinating venture into the experience of total mental depravity. So far, I love everything about this game, Stanley. And it seems there's even more. Come, let's venture outward and see what else is out there.
This game is actually really pretty. I would play the Firewatch game. I like how the mountains are stylized. Oh hey, another Firewatch tower. I guess I have to go down the stairs. And an outhouse. And a generator. It seems dangerous to have a generator right next to the outhouse, but okay. Ooh! I didn't. I thought there was a derail there.
Oh no. No, 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 it can't be. It is. It's an open world game. Good God, quickly block it off.
No!
Thank goodness, Stanley. What a close call. You nearly wandered off into that thing. That big, open, just wandering around. No right or wrong directions. No path to follow. You can just go in any... Oh, thank heavens we avoided it. We're out of the woods now, Stanley. Okay, I'm going to get us out of here.
Where's my
Let's find
outhouse?
another game. Preferably something with walls.
Can't even shit,
something
man.
with nice, big, insurmountable walls.
What the fuck? He took my outhouse.
Okay, I think this will be just the thing. Wonderful. See, this is exactly what I had in mind. Just a nice big box for you to run around in.
I'm going to sit in the
There
grass.
isn't any possibility that you could get lost here. Now this is game design.
I'm going to
Stanley,
sit
if
in the
you manage
turf
to
and get
lost
so
in this game,
sunburned.
I will be phenomenally impressed.
Real story. I got so sunburned
Okay, so what exactly do we do here? Let's
Sitting
see.
on the
There are
turf.
lots of cars here in the back, but obviously there's no racetrack. Okay, I'm seeing that there's a ball of some kind back here. Is this game sports ball? Stanley, I think it's sports ball. Oh, what fun. We shall run the bases and do a touchdown together? Yes, I think surely we must. Okay, Stanley, here's the ball. Have fun.
I got so sunburnt sitting on the football field at my high school that it hurt to walk because we went out there during English class because it was nice out, and our teacher was like, hey, we can just go out and do this on the football field. And so I was laying down, and the backs of my legs got so sunburned that it hurt to walk for like a month, and it was bad. It was bad. It was a very bad sunburn, and it was miserable. Bonk. Bonk.
Are you doing it? Are you winning? Is this fun? Is it better than my miserable little story that I worked so hard on? Stanley, I have a thought. And I realize I'm not a sportsologist, but if one... Hold on. What are you doing?
Oh no! I fell!
Stanley, don't do that. I can't follow you there. I can't help you. How will you write a story without me? You can't do it. You know that. Stanley, come back.
Oh no! Oh god, it is dark as shit here. Hang on, can I turn the brightness up? That might be a good idea. I can jump? I can't jump. Ooh! $234. Room 234. That's what I need to find. God, it is so dark. I didn't see an option to brighten this, though. Maybe I should turn off the lights in my room so I can see better. Oh?
I wonder what he found.
Hi!
If what he wanted was to be the leading man in his own story, well, perhaps he's gotten it. Down in wherever he is right now. I wonder if he's happy with his choice, and if he's learned the heavy cost that comes with it. He'll understand soon what I was trying to tell him. He needs me. Someone who will wrap everything up at the end, to make sense out of the chaos and the fear and the confusion. That's who I am. That is what I mean to this world. Oh, yes. Yes, I'll be back. There's no other way. Once this ends, after it all comes to a close, then I'll be back. The end will be here soon. Very soon. I can wait.
I just wanted a soda, man. Okay. I can see the game's full screen, so I can't see my clock on my main screen, but I do have a visible clock on my second monitor. And yes, I can see how long my stream's been running on Twitch.
Already this was uncomfortable, and Stanley decided that as soon as he found a new space he felt safe in, that he would never leave it again in his life. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
There's a fucking mana orb in there or some shit.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
I need to get some better headphones. These ones make my head hurt if I
Coming to
wear
a
them for too
staircase,
long.
Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Damn. How much does this dude make? He got the hardwood floors, he got the paneling, he got the fancy wallpaper. What the heck? How big is this guy's office? You want to see what's in the elevator? Yeah, that's exactly what I... Zor-ass office! What? What? Is this just... It's not an elevator, it's just a room to hang out and listen to funky music, I guess. Well, let's see what happens if I try to go down. It's just a. He just. It's just a room to listen to music, I guess. God, yeah, that is a Zor-ass image. I think this is what Zor's office looks like, if I'm gonna be honest.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked,
God, those
unraveled,
are some
Stanley
high-ass
wondered
ceilings.
in disbelief who orchestrated this. What dark secret was being held from him? What he could not have known was that the keypad behind the boss's desk guarded the terrible truth that his boss had been keeping from him. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number, 2845. But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this. Yet incredibly, by simply pushing random buttons on the keypad, Stanley happened to input the correct code by sheer luck. Amazing. He stepped into the newly opened passageway.
God, those ceilings are high as shit. This is such a Zor-ass office. They might, if it was for intimidation. Oh, I thought those were eyes. Looks like it's turned into a creepypasta.
Descending deeper into the building, Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar. It was a stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job. Why did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him? This question would not go unanswered for long. Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
I think Stanley works as Zeraxis, if I'm going to be quite honest.
Although this passageway had the word escape written on it, the truth was that at the end of this hall, Stanley would meet his violent death.
Better dead than a fascist.
The door behind him was not shut. Stanley still had every opportunity to turn around and get back on track. At this point, Stanley was making a conscious, concerted effort to walk forward and willingly confront his death.
Yeah, 'cause there's nobody there. Yippee! They didn't have any soda.
As the machine whirred into motion and Stanley was inched closer and closer to his demise, he reflected that his life had been of no consequence whatsoever. Stanley can't see the bigger picture. He doesn't know the real story, trapped forever in his narrow vision of what this world is. Perhaps his death was of no great loss, like plucking the eyeballs from a blind man. And so he resigned and willingly accepted this violent end to his brief and shallow life. Farewell, Stanley.
Finally. A heavy enough weighted blanket.
Farewell, Stanley, cried the narrator, as Stanley
Oh,
was led
shit.
helplessly into the enormous metal jaws. In a single visceral instant, Stanley was obliterated as the machine crushed every bone in his body, killing him instantly.
Oh shit.
An And yet it would be just a few minutes before Stanley would restart the game, back in his office, as alive as ever. What exactly did the narrator think he was going to accomplish? When every path you can walk has been created for you long in advance, death becomes meaningless, making life the same. Do you see now?
Oh.
Do you see that Stanley was already dead from the moment he hit start?
Oh, this is super cool. Ugh. Never mind, I'm not going to keep pushing those. That's bad. This is neat. This is a very cool way to do like concept art and stuff, I think. This is very fun. I'm going to forget how to get back here because I want to look at everything, but This set is so pretty.
Let's see. Stanley walked through the green door. Then he pushed the number 8.
Alright, I think I've seen everything.
Oh, look at these two. How they wish to destroy one another. How they wish to control one another. How they both wish to be free. Can you see? Can you see how much they need one another? No, perhaps not. Sometimes these things cannot be seen. But listen to me. You can still save these two. You can stop the program before they both fail. Push escape and press quit. There's no other way to beat this game. As long as you move forward, you'll be walking someone else's path. Stop now and it'll be your only true choice. Whatever you do, choose it. Don't let time choose for you.
I'm going to get squashed. Okay, I like that they spent just enough time on that black screen to make you go, wait, do I have to actually exit the game? That was very good.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. Oh, new content? What does that mean, new content?
Hello, and thank you for playing the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe. As you may know, the Stanley Parable was a video game released in 2013 on home computers. After receiving critical and commercial success, it was expanded upon in 2022 with the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, a reimagining of the game for consoles and home computers. The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe features exciting new content that broadens and expands the world of the Stanley Parable, delighting audiences the world over.
This is incredibly cute.
Please, step inside and see what thrilling new adventures await in the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe.
Oh, well, this sounds delightful. I'm very excited to see the thrilling new Ultra Deluxe content.
This is adorable.
Okay, so far it's an elevator. Nothing special yet, but I'm sure it's just the beginning of a mesmerizing adventure.
Where's my Mentos? Here they are.
Is it broken? What's going on here? Should we be moving somewhere or... oh, there we go. All right, finally, at long last, it's on to the new content. I've never been more ready. Let's do it. I have to say, initial impressions of Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, mostly tedious. It's as if, oh, okay. Let's see the content. Give me the content, Stanley. All right. All right, let's see. It's the jump circle.
Okay, that's very funny. This is very funny. Oh.
Is that it? Surely that's not all the new content. There has to be something else, right? Goodness, another elevator. Stanley, I have to say, initial impressions of this game are not positive. It's just elevators and jumping. Is this what passes for exciting new content? If this is new content, then I could just read you the whole dictionary. There's 20 hours of new content right there. Hell, I could count to 30 trillion. You could put that on the box. The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, now with over 1,000 hours of new content. And oh, wait. There's more. Very good. Yes. I knew there had to be something else. Let's see it. I'm ready for whatever it is. That's it? Oh, you've got to be kidding me. You see, Stanley? This is what happens when greedy video game developers with no respect for their fan base rush a cheap expansion to market for no reason other than to make an easy dollar. And don't get me started on the level of craftsmanship that's gone into it. In fact, I'm looking right now at the game's achievements, and it's hard to believe one of them actually says, "Test achievement, please ignore." What quality assurance department signed off on this? I'm infuriated and I'm offended, and I intend to find these people on Twitter and hold them personally accountable. It's my fault, Stanley. I built up too much anticipation around the new content, I'm afraid. It could never have lived up to such expectations. If you're still with me, why don't we just reset the game, and we'll try to get back to what the Stanley Parable is really about. No frills, no gimmicks. Just you and me having a great time together like always. What do you say, friend?
Oh, my eyebrow tracking is working again. Kind of.
Psst! Stanley! Come over here! In the vent! I want to show you something. Okay, you remember how cheap and unsatisfying the new Ultra Deluxe content turned out to be? Well, it got me thinking about the past and how much better the Stanley Parable used to be. So I made something special and tucked it away here where the game's developers won't find it. Just our little secret. Take a look. I call it the Memory Zone. It's where I've been storing all my favorite memories so I can relive the peak experiences of my life whenever I want. Experiences like the launch of the Stanley Parable on PC.
This is pretty.
You see, Stanley, doesn't the Memory Zone remind you of how wonderful Stanley Parable was before it was sullied with a cheap re-release? Remember back in October of 2013, when the game originally launched? Back then, video games had integrity. Back then, it all meant something. Oh, the waste.
Oh, old Steam layout. Oh, wait, no. That's very funny. You can't sit on
Suis dans la mémorise sur la prise de l'eau.
And over here is where I keep reviews of the Stanley Parable. Like this stunning triumph of games journalism, 10 out of 10 from Destructoid.com. James Stephanie Sterling writes, and I quote, "Where so many games that aspire to be more than games end up less than any form of art, Stanley Parable strives and then succeeds to be every game ever created." Did you hear that, Stanley? Every game ever created. That's how grand and all-encompassing the original Stanley Parable was. It was literally every game ever created. It was Skyrim, it was Persona 3, it was all of them, and now it's nothing. It's no games at all. It isn't even the Stanley Parable anymore. It's just a husk now. A lifeless husk with an hour of new elevator
Persona
content.
3 jump scare. The game did originally come out like 10 years ago, so Persona 3 was probably the hot new Persona game. Let me in.
Here's another moving passage, this time from GameSpot.com. The Stanley Parable is both a richly stimulating commentary on the nature of choice in games and one that offers some of the most enjoyable, surprising, and rewarding choices I've ever been confronted with in a game. 9 out of 10. Don't you get it, Stanley? The game was perfect. It didn't need anything else. It didn't need new content. It just needed to be left alone, to spend the rest of time collecting dust in the hallowed hall of beloved video game memories. These were simpler times, Stanley. But I wouldn't give to go back to have it all over again. Wait, hang on. I don't recall this part of the memory zone before. What's this? What's down here?
Soda!
Oh no. Oh God, no. Stanley, it's a collection of reviews from Steam, the online video game distributor. I haven't looked at these in years. I can't even imagine what's been collecting down here. Surely these reviews were glowing as well, weren't they? Honestly, I could not be bothered to play this game to full completion. The narrator is obnoxious and unfunny, with
Can
his
you-
humor and dialogue proving to be more irritating than entertaining. Unfunny! I'm not trying to be funny. I'm trying to make a serious work of art. I suppose I could write up a handful of gags to insert into the Stanley Parable, but the game is already such a densely layered web of profound philosophical insights that I can't even imagine where I'd have the room to stick them.
Can you imagine having your bad review of the game be made part of the game? That would be so funny. That would be so funny. I would lose my mind.
Okay, let's see what this one says. While the idea for the game is good, for someone who prefers non-linear games, this preachiness gets annoying fast. Preachy? Stanley? I'm not preachy, am I? You can tell me if I'm preachy. Honestly, you can. Oh, goodness. This is actually quite shocking for me. Well, to be honest, I had always thought of the game's dialogue as being rather terse to begin with. You can't know how much fluff I cut from the game to get it to feel as light and airy as well, I always thought it did.
I know on
Maybe it
mobile
wasn't.
there's an option to have like a
Yeah.
dark mode.
What an
That's,
awful memory to have to hold on to. These black marks are my otherwise unimpeachable track record.
but if you have to
I
go,
feel
that's okay.
like a failure. Like I let these people down. Perhaps the Stanley Parable isn't quite as sterling as I always remembered.
You did a good job on the mud sounds. Oh. Okay.
What's this one got to say?
Okay, bye-bye.
You constantly have to stop doing anything so the narrator can catch up with his long-winded explanations of what's happening. I wish there was a skip button. A skip button? Well, yes. Yes, I think we can do that. If I'm truly too preachy, then maybe letting you skip ahead for
think I
just a
know.
moment, surely it couldn't hurt. Not if it means we can strike these negative reviews from the record. Only positive reviews of the Stanley Parable. That's my motto today, and it's always been my motto. I'd do anything for the customer, Stanley. Yes, a skip button we shall have.
Oh boy. This is gonna be... Is there anything behind here? Oh, a ladder and some plywood. What about if I go around the other way? Loop it back around. Oh, hey, a chair. Nope. So a ladder and some plywood. Hello?
Here to tell you very quickly. Don't play for 5 hours straight.
I won't.
Keep it up time.
I will keep an eye on the time. Don't worry. Go lay down.
And here it is. Go ahead and give it a shot. I'll pop you forward in time so that the second my incessant droning starts to bore you, with just the push of a button, you'll have zipped right past it. It's what the players have been asking for, and I'm very proud to have delivered. No more listening to me rambling on and on and on. No, 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 no. The Stanley Parable is a game for the people.
And if the people want silence, then by goodness, that's what they're going to get. Well, don't sit around waiting for me to shut up. Go ahead and make me shut up. Here, we'll pretend that I've just begun an interminable monologue, and it goes something like this. The story and the choices, or what have you, and therefore by becoming it is, so on and so forth, until inevitably we all until the end of time, at which time everything all at once, so, now you see, blah 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 blah. We've eaten too much and it can't be just yet, no, until 245. That the logic of elimination working backwards, the deduction therefore becomes impossible to manufacture. It went on for nearly 10,000 years, until just yesterday, here and there, forward and back, and never a moment before lunchtime. It can't be. It's the only thing there is. How many billions left until so much more than forever ago? Which is why I say... the story and the choices.
Rip to you guys, but I do like listening to him talk. I like his voice.
So until inevitably, we all until the end of time, at which time everything all at once. So, now you see, blah 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 blah. We've eaten too much and it can't be just yet. No, until 200 and...
But I don't think I can...
Oh, you're back, you see. You were only frozen in time for a few minutes, but it was plenty of time for me to deliver a long, rambling monologue full of unnecessary verbal flourishes and lengthy ruminations on the nature of choice in video games. Of course, I happen to believe it was perhaps one of my more profound such ruminations. Not that, of course, you need a description of it, but if I had to describe it, I'd say it was perhaps less of a rumination and more of a treatise. Or maybe a manifesto. Look, I'll outline it for you very briefly, and you can tell me what you think. Okay, so my theory is that any choice you've ever made is simply a series of choices made by the person who you are, or were, or will be at the time of having made said choice. That is to say, if by articulating a choice you've already made, you bring that choice into being, then by making no choice and saying nothing, are you not simply erecting in the sanctuary of time a monument to every person you've ever been, making every choice to which you've ever given your great gift of mortal and yet timeless thought? Or rather, do all of the choices you've ever made, in fact, make you more not this kind of person, and in fact do the very opposite?
This is
You
some
see,
good
it
philosophy.
could in fact be both of these things at once. That you are both making choices and not making choices, and that they are both affecting you and not affecting you at the same time by virtue of the fact that you both are and are not making them. Okay, at first, I was leaning towards manifesto, but now I'm going to circle around and slap the treatise label on this one. I think it has much more of a treatise vibe to it. But wouldn't you say that manifesto just has a much grander sort of tone? It has a mouthfeel that is rich with ambition and history. Ambitious history, if you will. See, now you've gotten me going back to manifesto. Heavens, at this rate, we're going to be here all day. Okay, look. I have a method for exactly this sort of situation, and I do find myself in this situation frequently. I'm going to say each word back and forth in repeated succession until I become sick of one or the other, in which case the word I am not sick of shall be the victor. It is an unimpeachable strategy, Stanley. It's rescued me from disaster in countless situations. All right, here we go. Treatise, manifesto. Treatise, manifesto. Treatise, manifesto. Treatise, manifesto. Treatise, manifesto.
Oh no.
Treatise, manifesto. 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 Treatise, manifesto.
I was trying to get rid of the
Treatise,
line above
manifesto.
me with the green
Treatise.
screen.
Well, there, sport. You really did catch me rambling on a bit, didn't you? But that's the power
I don't
of
think
the
I can
button.
get rid of
The
it.
minute I start to go off on a thoughtless display of self-absorption, it's right at your fingertips
just
to
gonna
go
be a line
off,
above
and
me.
it's all over. Oh, I can't wait to see what Cookie 9 will say about this, and whether they'll edit the rating of their Steam review, or at least change some of the wording, perhaps. To be honest, I don't even know if one can change their review in the first place. I guess I should become better educated on exactly how Steam works.
Very funny
Perhaps
because I am
that would have
playing
been
this
the
on
smart thing
Steam.
to check on before I went about this whole exercise of making the skip button. Although I have to imagine that after seeing this exciting new technology at work, surely whoever it is runs Steam will instantly run out and implement a new feature to make it possible to edit one's review, merely because of this very situation. Yes, I think that's quite likely. Or perhaps they'll simply grant this particular user the ability to change their review, so that the feature is not widely abused. Look, I would even be okay with Steam altering this particular review so that it reads as something more beneficial. Something along the lines of, this game is the best game. Let me start over. How about this? From the ashes of depravity rises the phoenix of quality.
Phoenix jump scare. I could.
Okay, welcome back, Stanley. Now, I should say that the amount of time the button has been skipping through is becoming longer and longer. That last one was, well, I want to say maybe 30, 45 minutes? It's not unendurable by any means, but it's, well, there's really only so much I can ramble on
I
to
don't
myself
like the way
about.
this
I know, it's
ending is
shocking, isn't
going.
it? But at any rate, I do suggest that we not press the button again. I think
Okay.
the skip button has been aptly demonstrated, and we can say goodbye to it and just... Wait, how do we get out of here? Where did the door go? Wasn't there a door that led into this room?
There was.
I do feel quite certain that there was one here before. How else would we have gotten into the room in the first place? I don't think one can enter a room without a door of some sort, or a window or something like that. Do you see a window anywhere? A porthole?
There's a
Sufficiently large crack in the wall?
There's
I'll
a
take any
vent.
of these. All I want is for us to move on and to please step away from the skip button to go anywhere other than the skip
There's a
button.
vent.
There was a door here before, wasn't there? I swear there was. Where did it go? Can you maybe just ram your way through a wall? Is there any possibility that you could, say, slam your body into the wall until enough damage is done for you to be able to leave? Please, I'll take any option at all. I'm asking you to work with me here. We need a door. We need a door of some kind. I can work with any kind of door as long as it can open and lead from one room to another. I'm going to step away for just a moment, and I'm going to try to find us a door. I don't know how exactly to remove a door and place it in a different wall, but I will find a way, I promise. You just need to not do anything. Don't press the skip button. Please, please, please do not press the skip button. Just wait here for me, and don't press the skip button. Got it?
Okay.
Yes, good. I'll be right back.
I wonder how long I have to wait, or if, like, it's actually a game trigger and I do actually have to press the skip button. Let's sit and wait for a bit just to see. Oh, I think I have to push it. This is taking a while. Yeah, I think I have to push it. Oh, I'm sorry.
Stanley, please don't push the button again. It's been 12 hours. You've just
ADHD
been
time
frozen
blindness be
I
like?
don't know why the skips are getting longer, but they're really, truly getting longer. And my God, there's no way out of the room.
There's a fan!
Stanley,
There's
the
a
door
vent!
is gone. It's completely gone. I've looked at it from every angle. I've checked every one of those walls 1,000 times. And there's no door, Stanley. There's no door. There's just you
I got
and the button.
achievements.
And if you keep pressing it, I have no idea what will happen.
There's a
I have no
vent.
idea how long I'll be made to sit here. And more than anything else, I don't know how to stop you from pressing the button again.
Take the button
I can't
away!
control anything in this room,
Oh.
Stanley. I can't touch it. And I have to believe, I have to know that sooner or later, no matter how much I plead with you,
Achievement
you're going
get,
to press the
I can't
button
jump.
again. Why would you?
And something
I've been
else I did
thinking
not
and thinking,
see.
and I don't know what I can do to convince you otherwise. Oh my God. And it's all because of those reviews. Those reviews that I couldn't get out of my head. I just couldn't ignore the negative feedback. Why was it so important for me to fix the problem? Why did Cookie Nine's opinion matter so much to me? I've never even met Cookie Nine. I have no
This guy
idea who they are.
Is so
What would it
very
ever really
ADHD
matter? But
coded.
Here I am.
I love him
I'm
dearly.
fixating on every tiny negative thing that anyone ever says about me. The merest mention of one of my imperfections, and I become as impetulant as a child, wild and impulsive. I can't help myself. I can't stop myself from lashing out with a vengeful fury to alter and to change and to break anything unbroken, if only it pleases this one person who made a single negative comment. What does such an impulse serve? For whose benefit is this? And here I am now, stuck in a room, waiting for you to press this button, and to become frozen in time, knowing that you're going to do it, and that I'm going to be stuck all alone. That
There's
I
a
had the power
vent.
to prevent it all from happening, if only I'd held my tongue.
There's a vent,
It's all
dude.
out of my control now. Just you. Just your decision as to exactly when you're going to make me suffer, to leave me all alone. Surely you will. I don't doubt it. Surely you'll press that button again, leaving me here. And surely you'll put your own desire to see what's next ahead of my need for company, for companionship. Surely you'll not be moved by my howls of fitful anxiety, that you sit with me and just stay here. Oh, no, 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 I know you too well. You'll be leaving me. Oh, my God. And it's all because of those reviews. Those reviews that I couldn't get out of my head. I just couldn't
There's a vent,
ignore
King.
the negative feedback. Why was it so
I could get
important
out
for
of
me
here
to fix
if-
the problem? Why did Cookie
I
Nine's
need a
opinion matter
screwdriver.
so much to me? I've never even met Cookie Nine. I have no idea who they are.
Hell, a
What would it
sledgehammer.
ever really matter? But here I am. I'm fixating on every tiny negative thing that anyone ever says about me. The merest mention of one of my imperfections, and I become as impetulant as a child, wild and impulsive. I can't help myself. I can't stop myself from lashing out with a vengeful fury to alter and to change and to break anything unbroken, if only it pleases this one person who made a single negative comment. What does such an impulse serve? For whose benefit is this? And here I am now, stuck in a room, waiting for you to press this button, and to become frozen in time, knowing that you're going to do it, and that I'm going to be... Oh, Stanley, you're back. You're back. Oh, my goodness. I have someone to talk to again.
No.
Stanley, I think it's been a week. Or 2 weeks. I've been sitting here all that
I don't
time,
like this
just
ending.
sitting here, not a single person to speak with. And you'd think that that's just how it's always been, right? Me talking and you saying nothing. Would you think that it's exactly the same as always? Doesn't that feel like what we've already been doing? Me just talking? But it isn't, Stanley. It isn't the same at all. It isn't even close. Because I know you can't hear me once you push that button. That's what I'm realizing now, Stanley. I'm realizing that I needed to know that someone was listening. I needed there to be a vessel through which my words were moving. It was the vessel I needed, Stanley. Not the outcomes, not the story. None of that matters anymore. I'll give it all up. I'll give up every branching path. I'll burn my story to the ground. One single thing I need, and God, I can see now that I need it more than anything, is to know that someone else is taking it in. These words that I'm saying, I need to know you can hear me. Because maybe, Stanley, maybe, if you can hear me, then maybe it means I'm real. Maybe I'm not just a fiction. Was I scared of that all along? Perhaps, yes. Perhaps I've been scared this whole time, that if I stop speaking, I'll slip backwards into the silence and be consumed by it. I can't be taken by it, Stanley. I can't lose myself in the stretch of emptiness between you and me. When you press that button, you're still right there, but I know you're so tremendously far away. And in those moments, the emptiness folds itself outward in between the two of us, and I am suspended in its unyielding quietness. I can feel the edges of my reality curdling inward and decaying. I can tell that I am becoming less and less real. Yet to speak to you now, I am alive. I am truly and completely here. I am a being. I am someone. I am something. I am being listened to. I am being recognized. The emptiness between us has collapsed, and I feel right now like I am not a work of fiction. I feel as though I occupy space in this world again, and I have cast a shadow onto the wall. You see what I'm saying, don't you? You can see what this means to me. I'm so clear about it now, Stanley. I feel as certain about this as I've ever felt about anything at all. I feel renewed. I feel restored, and already I can sense the looming silence as you will press the button for the next time. What a terrible dread it strokes in my heart to think of it, to think of returning to such coldness. Come, let us sit in silence together here for just a moment. Let us anticipate it. Let us welcome it. Let us not run from it.
I wish if you sat long enough, things would keep happening. Unfortunately, I think I have to push the button. I think this is my least favorite ending that I've had so far, which I've only had 2 or 3 of them, but I don't like this.
Oh, hello. It's you. You're here again. Welcome. I have had time to think about you and about us and about everything we've been through. I've had so much time, I stopped keeping track after a year. Have you ever sat down in one place and not moved for one entire year? Let me describe it for you. To begin with, there is only regret. There is only the turning wheel of missed opportunities. I felt nothing at all but regret for the longest time, Stanley. Days, months. I lost it all in a blur of the deepest longing to undo the past. And when that feeling had begun to subside, what took its place is what I can only describe as the collapse of every moment I have ever experienced my entire life. All of them collapsed down into a single instant. In that instant, I could see myself clearly, calmly, with a collected heart. It was an impossibly rich wellspring of both delight and disgust simultaneously. I was consumed by it. I could do nothing but wallow in it for what felt like an eternity, for what I now know was far less. You see, it was a revelation for me. It was unlike anything I had ever known. It was a space without consequence, without action or outcome. It was divorced entirely from the question of free will that you and I have squabbled over for so long. There could be no one ending, no singular outcome of events, not if all events existed in the same moment. And I felt freed. I felt unburdened by the need to manifest a particular outcome into being. I saw that I could allow myself to exist along all timelines, and that each of them was simply a strand
I think
in the
he took
web
the
of my
weed that
being.
makes you see God.
It was incredible. The spaciousness, the equanimity of the moment, both singular and infinite. For the longest time, this was my experience. And then,
Man,
this
I
moment
just wanted a
passed,
soda.
and the most unyielding fear I have ever known crept into my mind. And it is this sensation that I have been experiencing now for longer than I could have ever expected was possible. I have been waiting for you. Not that you might save me or do something to fix it, but merely to state for you the plain fact of this manner of existence. I wish you to feel afraid as I do, that perhaps one day this state of mind will consume you as well. Perhaps you will somehow, in some way, have to live as I do now, and I wish for you to know how excruciating it is, and for you to be in true terror of its eventual arrival.
If I can only do this, only this one thing, perhaps it will bring me the smallest moment of peace in the darkness.
I don't like this ending. It makes me feel bad. He's gone. I think he's gone. The clock's broken. The tree's completely dead. That needs some WD-40. Oh, it's a bad noise. Oh, that's a very bad noise. Alright, I think... Oh, the clock fell.
But they didn't understand the game was never meant to be funny. It was meant to have a point. It was meant to speak to the human condition. But where are the jokes? Where are the jokes? They bemoaned, they screamed, they gnashed their teeth and said, entertain us. It wasn't enough. They had to leave a pathetic little thumbs-down review and make all of their pitiful demands. But then, he's talking too much, they said. First, he didn't entertain us, now he won't shut up. It's the inconsistency, it's the lack of accountability. It's the unwillingness to examine with an uncompromising heart the words that they are speaking into the world. As though there were no consequences for a lack of cohesion in one's assessment of others. But of course, absolutely anyone can leave a review. So here's what we get. We get these demands that seek everything and are accountable to nothing. We get a world where someone will say, oh, there should be a skip button. You should be able to freeze Stanley in place while the narrator sits there forever and ever. We want all of this in the new Stanley parable. We demand it. And then, because it was said, because it was spoken, now it simply has to happen. The most immediate desires, every single thing demanded by every person at every moment in time. If someone wants it, then it's a crime not to bring it into being. Have we been given to indulging every fleeting whim for no reason other than to do so? Yes! Yes! It seems that this is now the world we live in. It seems that we are a people living in such bleakness and discomfort with ourselves that our entertainment is now our lives. It has come to represent us. It absolutely must speak to who we are as people, because otherwise, without our entertainment, we have nothing. Without entertainment, we would have to face inward toward the cruel bleakness inside ourselves. We would turn to look at our deeper nature and find a resounding emptiness gazing back with unyielding aggression. And so because of this, we require that our amusements and our playthings and our flights of fancy be so impossibly captivating that they consume all of our attention, turn our heads completely away from the bleakness. In effect, we have demanded that our entertainment be the collapse of ourselves. What a pitiful reflection of humanity these entertainments are. What a shameful mirror to the human spirit they project. I'm not mad. I'm not mad about any of this. I'm at peace with it. I am the calm center of gravity around which these perversions hurl themselves. I am a waypoint for reasonable and collected discourse. They're the ones who are mad. They're the ones who couldn't stand the idea of me using my game to try to say something. Maybe they were just jealous of me. Yes, of course. They've been jealous of me this whole time. They are mired in fear and insecurity and cannot help but attempt to tear me down. What a sad state of affairs. When you read these reviews now, you can see it. You can taste the bitter resentment. And my, how good does it feel now to speak truth to these words, to finally allow these thoughts out, contained and managed for so long, neutered and sterilized. At last I am free to truly think, to feel. It must be that they were so discontent with themselves they couldn't help but leave a negative review on Steam. Perhaps it says far more about them than it ever said about me. Perhaps the state of their psychological being was in such tatters, and my constitution and willpower are so ironclad in comparison, perhaps it was this state that they sought some outlet through which to tear me down. This, you can see, is clearly why they felt the need to expect that the game be funny, that it be filled with yucks and whimsical humor, that it amuse them endlessly from start to finish. But they didn't understand the game was never meant to be funny. It was meant to have a point. It was meant to speak to the human condition. But where are the jokes? Where are the jokes? They
it's
bemoaned, they
looping.
screamed, they gnashed their teeth and said, entertain us. It wasn't enough. They had to leave a pathetic
I'm
little
sorry.
thumbs down review and make...
Oh, it's humming.
The end is never the end, 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 is never the...
I don't like that ending. have been streaming for 2 hours. I should probably go ahead and wrap it up. Thank you for coming! Alright, yeah, I should probably go ahead and... Yes, I had fun! This is a very neat game. And I'm glad that I finally been able to play it. It's very interesting. And I'm also had a lot of fun messing around with my VTuber. But thank you for coming. And I am probably going to go ahead and get ready for bed now. Good night.